Hey YouTube, it's echobear, and today I want to read an app for you guys. It's called Bubble Island 2 Pop Bubble Shooter. Now before I get into talking about this app and why it's cute and fun but has some weirdness to it, let's get through some of the serious stuff. So Bubble Island 2 is made by Wooga, and the first version that I can find of it being released was on August 30th, 2016. And this is your run-of-the-mill bubble shooter. I don't know where this genre came from, but it's super duper popular and just, yeah, it exists. I don't know why. We're talking about it today. So Bubble Island 2 is pretty much just your run-of-the-mill bubble shooter. If you've never played any of these before, I'm amazed because the first one I played was back on when Facebook was pushing really hard on games. Like okay, short story time first. My first bubble game was Bubble Witch Saga on Facebook, and that was essentially my rebellion against playing Farmville because that was my rebellious stage where I didn't want to do anything mainstream. So the solution was to play Bubble Witch Saga and listen to Green Day. I was not a very rebellious child. There was an attempt. But if you haven't played this game before, it's like a weird slingshot-esque match 3 game where at the bottom of the screen you'll have one color, you have to match 3 or more. That'll pop them, anything that's connected to them will fall down. You continue up until you've either cleared all of the bubbles. That's my phone going off, I apologize. You either clear all the bubbles or complete like a score goal, getting items, or just getting something to the top like this one has. It's very, very simple, but very well done most of the time. So pretty much the whole premise of this story is you're this little blue raccoon, which sounds like concerningly like Sonic the Hedgehog, which makes even more questions for me. Like, okay, literally, if you put them next to each other, like, I'm gonna go insane. They sound identical to each other. But yeah, that weirdness aside, and the fact that it's also a blue raccoon, you go around and go on this world tour popping bubbles and helping construct like different fruit stands. As you go around, you also construct or find the buildings that are missing along the path, like town hall, bridges, stuff like that. There's a bunch of locations that you go around, and it's a lot of fun. You also have your little pelican buddy that you run into within the first few levels that throws either bombs or bottle rockets into the bubbles to give you kind of a mini power-up as you're going through the game. It's pretty simple and a lot of fun. There's also variations on like the basic just clear all the bubbles premise. There's levels where you have to get all the keys, levels where you have to get all the cupcakes, levels where you have to get this hot air balloon to get to the very top of the screen, stuff like that. I have to say that the hot air balloons are my personal favorite, just because I've never seen anything like this where you're trying to move something up. Like usually you're trying to keep like things from compressing and getting too far down. It's really interesting to see like the flip of that, and also the fact that this hot air balloon has like flaming jets that come out the sides of it that clear away bubbles as you go along. This game also relies on like the traditional kind of power-ups that these games rely on, such as the clear a bunch, like clear one color, clear this, that, have a fireball. I don't really use those, so I can't talk much about them just because I avoid using them, because that's where microtransactions come into play. And if you guys don't know, I'm a hot box of salt about microtransactions, and I even made an entire video talking about it. But I avoid those, so I can't really attest to if they're good or bad, but they are there if you want to use them. I just didn't want to mess with them that much because I don't like to become reliant on those as levels become harder, because that's when you get tempted to do the microtransactions, and if I don't have to, I'm broke as hell, so I'm not gonna use the microtransactions. So pretty much just your basic bubble fare. And another thing that I really like about this game is all of the characters within it, surprisingly enough. A lot of games will throw characters at you that are really inconsequential, don't really mean much, or don't change anything about the game. They're just a cute little design that's thrown in there. These characters you interact with. They do specific things, they have specific quests, they play certain specific roles in, like, playing through a specific level or replaying through a specific level. I'll talk about that in a second. But the characters are honestly really endearing to me, and I really like them. So what I mentioned about having to replay games, this game kind of milks its own replayability a little bit by making it so the items that you need to purchase to build other areas or to get more coins to exchange for power-ups is by replaying levels in a slightly harder difficulty. Now, I'm okay with that just because it's a slightly harder difficulty, but it is kind of a cheap way to extend out gameplay time. Most games, when they do stuff like this, it's usually either a branch off path that have different puzzles that are harder, or it's a specific event where you play it, it's a hard level, and you get like those tokens or that item that way. This way it just seems like a kind of cheap way to extend out like the game's playtime, and honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of it, to be quite honest. Just because like you just played it and you want to progress, like you want to build this specific building. Now you can't because you have to replay this level over and over and over again because you have to play this level that you just finished again to just get the specific item that you need. It's like, most people that might not be an issue, but in a game where it wants you to progress an adventure, having to backtrack and redo the things that you just did is kind of counterintuitive. So for me, that's definitely a pretty huge downside and something I wish wasn't in the game. Honestly, it's still a really fun game. It's a lot of fun to play. It's really fun to look at. The aesthetic style is really cute. Sonic voice still throws me off a lot. But aside from that, the music is great. The sound effects are wonderful. The Sonic voice really throws me off. But honestly, it's a wonderful game, and if you like these kinds of games, I definitely recommend it be something you check out. So for everything that this game has, I'm going to have to give it about a 7 out of 10. It's nothing too incredible, to be honest, but it's still quite a bit of fun. So yeah, there you go. It's a really fun game. It pretty much, if you liked any bubble shooter type games in the past, you're gonna like this game. So as always, if you guys want to try it, links are down in the description. Make sure you go check those out because there's a lot of fun secret-y links down there too. If you haven't looked down there, look down there. It's good. But make sure to also stay to the very end of this video to see some other videos that I've done of similar games or just random games that I've talked about in recent videos. And as always, I hope you guys have a lovely day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!